Hello and welcome back, and it's been a pleasure being with you all. Now let's try and understand how we can improvise on our communication. I had put on some sessions, I've uploaded some sessions on using discourse markers, using adjectives, using expressive words, power words, and that could be used if you are an intermediate learner. You have understood the basic syntax, so you don't have to worry about the grammar, underlying grammar. It is up to you to further enhance your communication. Try and make it more unique, and try and frame your content, frame your message by using certain very important nuances which helps you fine tune your communication using discourse markers. Discourse markers, of course, I've mentioned, it adds elegance to your communication. It adds a lot of flavor to your communication. It marks introduction and closure and the body content very clearly. You can use a lot of markers that we have discussed in the previous session. Then using power words. Power words add a lot of impetus to your sentences. It adds a lot of value, and it also adds a lot of flavor, in the sense it expresses, in a single word can express the entire context in detail. It's not only that, expressive words and adjectives, that also adds fine elegance to your sentence structure. So these are things for the upper intermediate level learners who have a language, who consider themselves to be at the intermediate level. Apart from that, you have to necessarily practice, be it basic level learner or intermediate or upper intermediate or proficient level. Depending upon your level, you need to practice. Every day you need to be listening to something in English if you need to develop. You need to fine tune your vocabulary, because words mean a lot. Vocabulary, your strength of your vocabulary, the more number of words that you know, in fact, nourishes your syntax. It provides a lot of direction to your sentence structure, because words, the right type of words, if you are a higher level user of vocabulary, then people can understand very clearly that you have learned the language, you have assimilated a lot of words, and you are trying to use it appropriately in the context. Using those words appropriately in the context is like using the appropriate grammar. So you should know certain levels of usage. You should know the context. Not knowing the word alone helps you. It is trying to know the context and trying to fix the word in the context and making it into a meaningful sentence. This is something that you have to learn. You have to side by side develop your vocabulary. I developed my vocabulary right from day one, because day one in the sense when I started reading, that I started at a very early stage. So naturally that vocabulary tries to be it accrues over a period of time. The more number of words, the higher your level of imagination and metacognitive thinking. That's what I understand by knowing more words, increasing your word power. Those days we used to buy a book called Increase Your Word Power and kind of work on and try to, one side Renan Martin grammar and one side word power, that was in fact trying to help us in the long run. So you can have a nice grammar book, or you can one touch information, you can download as much as possible. It's all free. You can learn, take up one aspect a day and try to learn the grammar. Then improve your vocabulary also. You should be knowing daily. Make it a point that you learn at least 10 new words. Start now. I used to take notes. Whenever I find a new word, I used to write it down and write the meaning, search for the meaning and write the meaning, so that it gets into my memory. So in a way you can also practice it like that. 10 words minimum you need to know. Vocabulary becomes a very important factor. Then not only your vocabulary, brushing up your grammar, using discourse markers, expressive words, and kind of adjectives that you are familiar with, you can use it appropriately. So if you do it, depending upon the context, like I mentioned, you should know the audience, who's your listener. So accordingly, you can frame your sentence and practice a little bit, nothing wrong. Rather than memorizing, practice it. Practice before the mirror. Practice before the mirror. Have your script, practice it, speak, and kind of develop spontaneity. And wherever you get stuck, you try to improvise on that. It's going to help you in the long run. And this is something that I wanted to tell you. Thank you very much.